Welcome back to Undefendable. We're going to be doing Play Like a Pro for the Samurai. Samurai is the most consistent hero in Dice Throne. His ceiling isn't flashy, but his floor is incredibly high. He rewards clean fundamentals, smart risk management, and disciplined play. If you value reliability over spikes, Samurai is elite, and I'll explain why he is consistent, because it is intentional. Let's hop into his leaflet. Negative stats effect Shame. Reduce attack damage by 1. This is something you inflict on your opponent, and then when they attack you, if they have 2, they would get -2 to their attack on you. Honor is your attack modifier. 1 is going to add 1 damage, but if you have 2 honor, you can do 3 damage as an attack modifier. And then Backstrike. When you are being attacked, of an offensive roll phase, you may choose to spend this token, and it can be undefendable. So when a player with Backstrike receives damage, regardless of if it's defendable or not, you can use Backstrike to hit them back for a roll, then deal half the value of damage back to them. His abilities are really straightforward. Let's kind of zoom in. Oh, his dice are really straightforward as well. AAABBC, 3 katanas, 2 kabutos, and 1 rising sun. His abilities, there we go, are going to be the Katana Strike for a basic, Wakasashi, which is undefendable damage and gets you a backstrike, Solemnity for a shame and 7 defended, or 7 damage, Budo, or Budao, is a small straight, which gains you the honor in 6, Masamune is the large straight. The mini alt is Hakakura, gain honor, gain backstrike, inflict 2 shame, and then deal 5 damage. And then his Shogun ultimate is right here with the honor, shame, and deal 13. And his defense is actually sneakily good, right? A lot of times you're preventing, 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, and then hitting them back. So this is actually a pretty sneakily good defense, which can deal damage and prevent damage back. Very rarely do I get this whiff where I don't roll a Helm or a Rising Sun, where I would inflict myself with shame on you, but that can happen occasionally. You basically would roll 3 sabers, hit them back for 3, but then you would get shame on yourself. So, not ideal, but it does happen. Let's go over the Samurai's cards. One thing to note, all of the Samurai's unique cards cost 1 CP, so they are all relatively affordable, and they're all relatively good. They basically all prevent or deal damage. Inflicting Shame prevents damage, and then dealing damage as attack modifiers, or inflicting Shame. Backstrike inflicts damage, and then Honor is an attack modifier for you as well. Nothing flashy, but none of these are dead cards. They're never going to be dead cards in your hand, which is really, really nice. If we go over to the upgrade cards, the best one I would say, or the best 2 are going to be Budo 2. This is like the Samurai's bread and butter, in my opinion, is the small straight. It's actually really, really strong. And then Stand Tall. If you can upgrade this defense, you roll an extra die, and you avoid shaming yourself, which is also really nice. Some situational stuff, I would say, is Wakasashi. Depending on your matchup, if you need access to really strong undefendable, Wakasashi can be strong, as well as Katana Slice. The Katana Slice, if you need the additional damage, or you're trying to race them down, or you're having against a heavy control opponent, this can just be some nice steady damage where you can still inflict some shame and do some stuff with that as well. But Katana Slice and Wakasashis are typically situational. Budo and Stand Tall are always going to be ones that you upgrade. These are your bread and butter to make the Samurai good. The key truth is Samurai does not need upgrades to win, but if you had to, that would be how I would go about it. And one other thing to note, I didn't go over this with his abilities, is Bushido, which is his passive. If you are the first player of the game, gain an honor. At the conclusion of your turn, if you used less than 3 dice rolls during your offensive roll phase, gain honor. So when I mentioned he was consistent, he is consistent on purpose because you're trying to do all of your abilities for your offensive roll phase in 1 or 2 rolls, so you can start stacking up the 2 honors as consistently as possible to do the most amount of damage. That's why he is one of the most consistent heroes in the game. So game plan is you're going to take the easiest role because the easiest role is what's going to generate you the honor. Honor rewards low risk play. Avoid your third roll whenever possible. If you do not need to roll 3 times, do not roll 3 times. Accumulate your honor for your game plan. Treat honor as a guaranteed future damage. Don't gamble it away for marginal gains. You're always going to want to try and hit with 2 honor on you. And then attack every round for a consistent 6 to 7 damage, because that is going to add up fast. Your defense is really good. If you can start inflicting shame occasionally on your opponent, that's going to add up and smooth incoming damage for you as well. Samurai is consistent, but his main goal is to outlast, not outplay. He's going to punish mistakes from your opponent, but he's not going to quote-unquote punish your opponent. He'll punish their mistakes. So, and that's why Budo, actually, let me go and grab these cards real quick. Budo is one that I would upgrade, and Stand Tall. Those are the 2 that I would automatically upgrade every single time. If we had Wakasashi, that's an upgrade option as well, but everything else is pretty straightforward there. So a few tips: don't overvalue Backstrike, right? It only is going to deal 2 to damage or 1.5 damage on average, so don't overvalue it. Just play it. Anytime you have it, just play it. That's the nature of the beast. Undefendable attacks aren't automatically better with Samurai, so just because you have access to this does not make this better. If I had Wakasashi or the Small Straight, especially if the Small Straight is upgraded, even if it's not upgraded, I would probably go for the Small Straight. Because in most scenarios, I gained an honor from my last turn, and then you can see here, this gains an honor and then deals damage. So I would gain an honor, and then it would be 8, 9, 10, 11, because I would be spending 2 honor to buff it 3. So that is why you upgrade this. You're doing consistently 11 damage to your opponent. It is defendable. You do have access to undefendable against those pesky defensive heroes, but your bread and butter, if you can find it, is going to be Budo or just taking the roll that you can get without rolling 3 times. If you can hit 2 actions at once, always take that line, right? So like if there's a roll where you can go for Small Straight or Solemnity, that's one where your second roll you're going to be maximizing that opportunity. Spend honor in singles versus evasive heavy opponents. That's a good tip. So like in this scenario, if I have Budo and I go here, maybe I'm going to spend 1 instead of both of them against evasive heavy opponents. And then the last tip I would say is you are one of the best go first characters in the game because your game plan is so consistent and so straightforward. Going first, you're going to have a really, really strong time. Matchups, Samurai is going to be strong against high variance heroes, complex heroes with high skill ceilings, and inexperienced players, right? Just to be honest. And is weak against highly consistent, higher damage heroes. So anyone that can out damage him or is just as consistent as him he's gonna be weak against. Players who execute perfectly, that's everyone, and then characters that clearly outperform him on one axis. So the Samurai doesn't dominate matchups, he just survives them. My final take is Samurai doesn't try to beat you. He lets you beat yourself. If you misplay, he wins. If you gamble, he wins. If you play sloppy, he wins. He is the definition of low risk, high reliability, and one of the best heroes to master the fundamentals with. Play clean, take the easy damage, let consistency do the work. So, let's do a couple of examples. Let's say I'm going first with the Samurai. I would actually get an honor because I'm the first player. Let's say hypothetically Budo was in my hand. I'm going to upgrade that absolutely, and we're going to roll. And this is one where I probably take Wakasashi because that's the most obvious roll. And I'm going to gain an honor at the end of my turn because I only rolled once, and then it's going to be 3 undefendable damage. Now, my opponent attacks into me. Let's say I have the upgraded defense. I'm going to roll 4, and this is where it gets fun. I'm preventing 3 and hitting them back for 2. That's a really, really good defense, right? And then on top of that, I'm going to use Backstrike to hit them back for another 3. So I just hit them back for 5 damage and prevented 3. You can see how that can add up pretty consistently. Now let's go into my offensive roll phase here. And this is where it gets a little bit spicy, right? So Statistically, the small straight is probably where you want to chase. This is probably one of your worst scenario rolls. Hopefully you have a dice mod here. You could potentially go for Solemnity as well. So this is one where I'm probably going to keep 4-5 and then see what happens. And we end up getting the small straight here, where we're going to be spending our honor to deal 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. And then at the end of the turn, since we only rolled twice, we're going to gain that honor back. And then just one last example of the defense. We are going to prevent 2, 3 damage, and hit back for 1. And that is how you play the Samurai. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe.